Assalamualaikum and good day I bid to the lecturer and all my fellow friends. So today we are from group 2. We present regarding the case 2, which is the turnaround of Madi Child Cafe. So for your information, these are our group members, which consists of 6 members. But for today, only 3 of us, which are me, myself, Darwisha Hadira binti Abdul Halim Shah, Nur Farah Hidayah binti Rosan, and Nur Fakira Ilisha, will present for this case. But first and foremost, I will explain briefly regarding the introduction or executive summary of Madi Child Cafe so that we can picture out of what is actually the case is all about. Madi Child Cafe is an Australian cafe house-style food franchise featuring high-quality coffee and beverages that was founded in 2003 by Madi Mum Corporation. So, Madi Mum Corporation is actually a hamburger and fast food franchisee that has decided to branch out into the coffee industry. So, Madi Child Cafe focuses on offering high-quality coffee to clients with cheaper prices. Madi Child fast food businesses made 15% more money than Madi Mum fast food outlets. Madi Child Cafe, on the other hand, suffered losses and a new path when it entered the US market in 2011. The inability of Madi Child Cafe's rising business strategy to place itself in the US of America's coffee sector. So, market competition analysis, valuation analysis, and cost and attributable analysis were all applied by the firm. Madi Child Cafe presently has 1,300 outlets across the world. Nevertheless, the coffee industry in the US is still maturing and there are differences in taste between the Australian and the American cultures. This restricts Madi Child Cafe's reach, particularly among the poor and moderate income strata. The operation of Madi Child Cafe, its competitive position, and options for Madi Child Cafe to turn around its US operations by undertaking in-depth research and experiments on new markets for a better knowledge of customer behavior will be discussed in this case study. So, the issues with Madi Child Cafe's internal operations as well as the external environment are recognized during the study and assessment, and various of the recommendations with respect to the some business restrictions are also represented in this case study. So next, I will pass to Fakira Ilisha to present regarding the first issue.
Thank you Darwisha Hadira for the introduction and summary of Madi Child Cafe. Next, I proceed to our first issue that involved in this cafe, which is Madi Child Cafe. Okay, our first issue is whether there are differences between the Australian market and US market, which is limit the use of the Australian market globally and make it difficult for Madi Child Cafe to venture in the US market. The first differences that we found from this cafe between the Australian market and US market is demographics, which are most Australians in Australian market earn a high income and most American in US market have a low and medium income. Based on the study, the average monthly disposable salary, which is income after tax for Australian, was $3,780.69, while for the American it was $3,258.85. It shows that Australian income is 16% more than the worker in the US. Moreover, the limitation for demographics is limited coffee choices happen to the community because of income. Madi Child Cafe features a poor selection of coffee. It did not have many choices, so because of that, the customer did not have many options to choose the drinks as desired. Therefore, it causes inability to fulfill customer demand in the US. Madi Child Cafe should be more creative to meet the demands of its US customer. The second difference is public perspective, which is in coffee culture. Australian market have a strong coffee chain element or mature coffee market, while US market have a strong fast food chain element or immature coffee market. Madi Child Cafe was launched in Melbourne, Australia with the growing demand towards espresso-based drink, while Madi Child Cafe in the US growing with the demand of fast food rather than coffee. As a result, it was an ideal location for Mighty Chai Cafe to open their coffee shop in Australia. The US, however, embraces coffee quite late. Moreover, the limitation for this difference is having different cultures in that two markets. At that time, the US community preferred fast food rather than coffee. It can be seen that the Australian coffee culture is one of the most advanced in the world, which is very different as compared to US. Australia's younger and older generation, more than half take the coffee. Other than that, it is different from the US because the US commonly is famous for its fast food culture. Okay, next our third differences found is different lifestyle, which are Australian appreciate the ambience of the cafe in Australian market, while American want to quicker services available to them in US market. For Americans, the most essential thing is time. They want the quickest services available to them. Mighty Chai Cafe was unable to deliver quick service due to shortage of employees and a work attitude similar to their cafe in Australia. While our Australian, they more appreciate the ambience of the cafe. Moreover, the limitation for different lifestyle is different way of lifestyle in both market. Each country has its own unique lifestyle. Consider the coffee style. For example, espresso coffee is popular in Australia. In Australia, the most popular coffee drinks are latte and flat white. Meanwhile, in the US, United States, this style is different. In the US, drip style filter coffee is commonly used. Americans like sugary, extravagant coffee drinks like frappes and macchiatos. Furthermore, when it comes to coffee services in their respective countries, American customers prefer self-service coffee. They prefer to have their coffee quickly and on the move, so they line up at the counter and wait for their names to be called once their coffee is ready. Despite Australian, they want coffee provided by waiters. Their cafe and coffee service are more relaxed and consumers enjoy the cafe's environment. Okay, lastly, our fourth difference is product preference, whereas Australians prefer espresso, flat white coffee and lattes in Australian market, while Americans prefer cold brew, French press or Eastern coffee in US market. We can say that Americans do not have the same strength of coffee in Australia. Australian coffee is espresso-based drip-style coffee, which is more stronger than American coffee and requires a lot of time to make it. Moreover, there is limitation for this difference, which is they does not correspond to customer preferences. As a result, Mighty Chai Cafe should conduct more research on the needs of the US community and how they want to consume their coffee. Generally, the roasts used by Australian venues are much smoother, lighter and more caramel compared to a lot of US coffee, which is a more darker roast and more bitter. As a result, Mighty Chai Cafe should research its US customer and focus on providing coffee that matches their preferences. So next, from this first issue, there are root causes of Mighty Chai Cafe's failure identified to venture into the US market. From the external factors, there are several causes identified, which are technology, taste and preferences, and strong competitors. Okay, the first external causes is technology. It is always changing, which creates opportunities and challenges for small and medium-sized businesses. New devices and software can help employees do their job better and faster, but upgrading costs money. Mighty Chai Cafe need to invest more in order to upgrade their technology. Technology can be used to protect financial data, confidential executive decision, and other proprietary information that leads to competitive advantage. Secondly, taste and preferences. Consumer preferences are defined as the subjective individual taste as measured by utility of various bundle of goods. Mighty Chai Cafe is experiencing difficulty catering to the taste of local people in the US. The US community favors brewed cafe as compared to espresso-based coffee. The taste will determine the flavors and recipe used to prepare a specific product to attract consumers to buy continuously. Okay, the last external causes is strong competitors. This happened due to challenges of entry in the food and beverage industry, intense competition in the coffee market which could provide similar products at a more competitive price. Madi Chai Cafe is experiencing difficulty catering to the taste of local people in the US. Not only that, they want to option for a healthier lifestyle, hence Madi Chai Cafe needs to respond to the shift of demand. To overcome this hurdle, companies will often venture into two or more market segments. Organizations can compete in different areas such as pricing, quality, customer support service, product features, and more. Next, we move to internal factor in root causes for Madi Chai Cafe to venture the US market. The first causes is lack of US market analysis. The lack of US market analysis plays a big role in this failure. When a business wait too long to take advantage of a marketplace opportunity, it can lead to missing out on the opportunity altogether. Madi Chai Cafe did not analyze the US market because they applied the same strategy as the Australian community, and it is the main reason why they failed in the US market in the first place. Secondly, there are weak customer value proposition. A good value proposition defines the benefit of the company's product and services and makes clear how the company is different from the competition. Madi Chai Cafe did not create a strong value proposition like Starbucks, which aims for high quality and specialty atmosphere. They are unable to attract customers in the US market because they are not sensitive with the customer preference in the US and unable to offer benefit or value in making coffee, such as 20% charity for every purchase. To be effective, a value proposition must clearly differentiate them and set them apart from the competition. Okay, the last internal causes is lack of baristas, which is manpower. Manpower impacts everything from production to clients' relationship. So manager pay careful attention to the number of workers or a business engaged at any given time. Lack of manpower will lead to slow services by the cafe. Manpower is an important person that Madi Chai Cafe needs to have because without enough manpower, the cafe will not operate smoothly. So that's all from me in explaining about the first issue in Madi Chai Cafe related to the differences, limitations, and root causes for them to venture the US market. Next, I will pass the next issue to Nur Farah Hidayah.
Now I will proceed with the second issue, which is how can the SMA model, which was developed by Tompkins and Cars in 1996, be helpful in addressing the issue described in the case. I will discuss it from the tactical and management perspective of Madi Chai Cafe as required by the questions. The first one is market and competitor analysis. In market competitor, we analyze the customer's requirements regarding the service, the choice of product offers, the product price, and the cafe itself. In the United States, quick and efficient fast food service are quite popular among its community. To respond to that, Madi Chai Cafe includes their coffee choice into Madi Mom's existing breakfast menu. Moreover, they also add drive-through counters to help speed up their operations. Next, Madi Chai Cafe offer high-quality coffee at an affordable price. In comparison to Starbucks and Dom Donuts, Madi Chai Cafe offers the lower prices. The product range from $1 to $3.39. The cafe also serves a variety of foods in addition to coffee, such as high-end cakes, pastries, gourmet coffees, premium teas, cheesecake, and tiramisu. Lastly, all Madi Chai Cafe were visited again to correct any flaws and to focus on what consumers want. There are sufficient amenities to serve their guests, such as free Wi-Fi, comfortable furnishings, and soft lighting that creates the ideal atmosphere. In competitor analysis, we analyze the provision by competitors such as the price offers, the value propositions, the technology implementations, and the product line. Firstly, Starbucks charge a premium for their high-quality coffee, whereas Madi Chai Cafe charge a cheaper price for comparable quality. Under value propositions, Madi Chai Cafe took the chance to make aggressive marketing and promotional activities by providing free coffees for 2 weeks. This is because Dom Donuts also offer free iced coffee for its customers and has teamed with a major consumer goods company to sell their coffee in stores. Starbasket, on the other hand, offer half-price frappuccinos at most locations throughout the same week. They also team up with a well-known beverage company to launch ready-to-drink bottle frappuccinos. Other than that, under implementation of technology, Madi Child Cafe create a website to provide public access to information about the menu and other intriguing offerings. Dom Donuts, on the other hand, provide a payment application that adheres to the cashless transactions trend. Lastly is product line. Dom Donuts' main product is donuts with breakfast options available, whereas Starbasket primarily sells coffee. Madi Child Cafe also has a diverse menu that includes high-end cakes, pastries, gourmet coffee, premium teas, cheesecake, and tiramisu. Madi Child Cafe's coffee is also available at Madi Mom Cafe's breakfast menu. The second analysis in SMA model is value chain analysis. There are 5 primary activities and 4 support activities in Madi Child Cafe operations. The first primary activity is inbound logistics. In the activity, purchasing department is responsible to cultivate positive relationship with supplier who supply the raw materials. The department also need to maintain the quality of raw material received. Next, under operation activities, product development department will take the responsibility to develop or design new products or menus and introduce it on festive season. Next is outbound logistics, where Madi Child Cafe had the quickest options to deliver food to customers, such as they offer breakfast meals and coffee rather than heavy meals. Their customers also prefers the drive-through counters as it is consumed less time. Moreover, for marketing and sales, the franchisor will decide the strategy while the franchisee decide the locations of cafe and the target market. They also implement the marketing strategy by giving free coffee to their customers for 14 days. Last primary activities is services. Superior services are the core source of Madi Child Cafe competitive advantage, and this particular primary activity adds an enormous value to the brand image. This is where Madi Child Cafe focus on quick, timely and reliable service. Next, the first support activities of Madi Child Cafe is human resource management. HR management is responsible to oversee all activities conducted by all employees in each department. Secondly, for administration activities, the business administrative department responsible to control the accounting, reporting and allocate manpower to any cafe. They also need to collect the transactions accounts and operations performance. The third support activities is technology development. In this activity, the department in charge is Information Technology Department, where they manage company's website, oversee the installations and maintenance of computer network systems. Last but not least is procurement. The purchasing department responsible to help managing the supply of coffee and cakes to Madi Child Cafe. The last analysis is cost and attribute driver analysis. Once the cost and attribute drivers are identified from the market and competitor analysis and the value chain analysis, the drivers can be modeled to check whether they can be delivered at an acceptable profit level or not. Cost and benefit analysis between the cost incurred and the attributes provided have to be done during the process of cost reductions and attribute improvement. Excessive cost reduction might result in lack of product attributes that consumers are looking for, whereas excessive product attribute will lead to escalating high product costs. Both cases are not feasible for competing in the market, and a balance point must be achieved between both objectives. For example, Madi Child Cafe went for a slight hybrid best cost strategy, which made it crucial for them to have a lower cost in order to gain the profit. The purchasing department plays a big role in reducing the cost of productions, where Mr. Thomas, the manager of the department, always emphasized that costs come first to his management. The department was able to help the Madi Child Cafe to save around $30 million for its cost of productions. Other than that, by having sufficient cost data from the other industry players, Madi Child Cafe can benchmark its product cost in each part of the value chain to the industry average or the industry low figures for continuous improvement. Furthermore, the improvement in cost performance compared to appropriate learning curve in conjunction with technology investment should be observed in longer terms to further reduce the production cost. From the market and competitor analysis and value chain analysis, Madi Child Cafe needs to focus more on value proposition, which is how to deliver its product to suit the consumers and the market in this case. Next, I will pass to Darwisha.
Thank you, Farah Hidayah. So next, I will present and explain regarding the last issues of this case. So what are the issues? So the issues is what are among the practical recommendations that you might propose to the management to address these issues. So first and foremost, I will prefer them to take advantage of the strong brand name and network of Madimum. So as we all know that Madimum has a strong brand name and network, which shows that they succeed in secure higher customer loyalty and advertising effectiveness on customers. So this can help Madi Child Cafe to be known easier by introducing them to the existing customers of Madimum. Since the original branding of Madimum is different from Madi Child Cafe in terms of the operating environment and the nature itself, Madi Child Cafe needs to adapt the design of its premises to satisfy the customer's preferences as well as to maintain the vibe. Instead of only focusing on advertising and promotions throughout the country, the product development department as well as the marketing department can decide on various product mixes and marketing campaigns following the market regions and the feedback from each outlet. Next, we can focus on innovative advertising ideas. Madi Child Cafe can advertise their products via online news portals and social media besides using conventional advertisements through printed and broadcast media. This is because it can easily be disseminated broadly and is cheaper as people nowadays happen to be exposed to all the online stuff. Other than that, they can also offer promotions during peak hours or free coffees for a particular period of time so that they can obtain feedback from the consumers. And if the consumers like the taste of the coffee, they will surely return to Madi Child Cafe and make another purchase. Plus, the feedback from the consumer is also important to allow Madi Child Cafe to adapt and improve the taste of the coffee to match with the taste of the US community. The third one is we have to practice the turnaround strategy. So what is turnaround strategy? Turnaround strategy refers to retrenchment strategy when a company realizes that it has made wrong decision early. So the company needs to undo some of its work before it could impact the company's profitability and income. It also refers to a strategy where you retreat and back from the earlier made wrong decision, which will then transform the company's position from loss to profitability. It becomes necessary for Madi Child Cafe to follow the turnaround strategy because of the changes of the external environment, which in this case, the changes of the business environment due to the new opening in the US market. In order for the business to survive, Madi Child Cafe can educate the US community on coffee culture. They must also make coffee drinking a trend among the community members. Last but not least, I would prefer for them to make in-depth research and market surveys in the US community. We also know that research and surveys are so important in our business. As US culture and market are different from Australian markets, this research and surveys are important in order to really understand the consumer behavior. So, by identifying the required attributes of the consumers, Madi Child Cafe can improve its activities along the value chain and deliver the products that suit consumer preferences at a reasonable price. For instance, instead of focusing solely on the cost of the raw coffee materials, the quality of the materials to produce the coffee should also be emphasized to produce the coffee that is aligned with the consumer's taste. Finally, we have come to an end of this presentation. So next, we will move to the conclusion. So Madi Child Cafe surprisingly failed to meet its targeted market shares and financial expectations in its first year of operation in US. They are primarily concerned with offering customers with high quality coffee at a reasonable price. After careful consideration, Madi Child Cafe decided to restructure the organization in order to secure the US market. Unfortunately, the entire rebranding effort was a huge success. In terms of taste and customer preferences, the firm was ranked higher in than the industry's major three. The entire Madichal Cafe rebranding process took 8 years before they were able to successfully penetrate into the market of low and middle income employees. So in a nutshell, it is important that Madichal Cafe understand the US market so that they may plan what should and should not be included in their business before it begins. Furthermore, conducting the research about the culture, lifestyle, and preferences of the American community is essential in order to effectively enter the worldwide market. Okay, that's all from us. Thank you.